The wait is over. The talking is done. 60 years of history have led us to this grass in Santa Clara, California. Today, the world stops to watch two titans collide for the ultimate prize. On one side, the AFC champion New England Patriots, a dynasty reborn, led by the phenom Drake May and the grit of Mike Vrabel, chasing a record-breaking 7th Super Bowl championship. On the other side, the NFC champion Seattle Seahawks. Sam Darnold's unbelievable redemption story meets the relentless new age Legion of Boom. It's a rematch a decade in the making, and the ultimate quest for the Lombardi on the biggest stage in sports history. You are locked into Clearing the Bench, and this is Super Sunday Takeover. ETB's coverage of Super Bowl 60 starts right now.
I don't know how to start a show without my name being said and then the sound this guy stinks.
It's part of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, all right. So welcome in everybody to the ETB Lounge. Make sure to subscribe to the Empty the Bench Network podcast on social media and on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube, follow across social media at ETB Network. You can follow this show across social media at the ETB Lounge. You can follow us. You can follow us across social media at ETB Lounge. You can follow me on Twitter at Nick DiMart, Nick Morgeson at N Morgeson Radio. I think I got that right.
Yes.
So I guess what is this? This is a Super Bowl edition of the ETB Lounge.
Yes, it is.
Even though we'll be talking about a little more than just the Super Bowl. This is actually the first time that we have room to create banners for topics. Interesting. That's unusual.
Yeah, it is unusual.
A little unusual. All right. So can we lead off with this story? Giannis on the board of Cal. Is that what it is? Giannis is on the board.
He's a shareholder.
Shareholder. Okay. Not the first thing. Actually, we got to do the monologue first.
Okay.
We got to do the monologue. Okay. Where is it? Here it is. All right. So, in some recent news, a guy tried breaking Luigi Mangione out of prison with a pizza cutter.
Okay.
A lot of people are saying this is the most Italian thing ever. That's not true. The most Italian thing ever would be if his mom did it.
Wow. Okay.
And in other news, Fetty Wap was just let out of prison. So I guess letting Wops out of prison is very fashionable these days.
Boy. Okay.
Now that Darren Lee and Fetty Wap are both in the news, 2026 really is the new 2016. Now all we need is for ISIS to make a comeback.
Oh.
And it looks like Giannis is staying in Milwaukee. So he's officially the first Greek immigrant to decline moving to Astoria.
Ouch.
Yeah.
True.
Giannis making a big move in free agency is a little bit like Iran getting a nuclear weapon. We just keep hearing about it all the time, but it never seems to happen.
Facts.
And former Jets first round pick Darren Lee was arrested for killing his girlfriend, making him the first guy who abuses women to not make it in the NFL. Look,
wow.
I, for one, am shocked that one of Urban Meyer's former players would get arrested for murder. At least Kirby Smart's former players only get arrested for vehicular homicide.
Facts.
When Darren Lee was with the Jets, he actually totaled 241 tackles, including 17 for a loss and 4 sacks. And that was just against his girlfriend.
Oh.
There was actually another incident where he threw a phone at a woman, striking her in the head and making her ear bleed. Christian Hackenberg was immediately eliminated as a suspect.
Wow.
Technically, Darren Lee is a Super Bowl champion, but because he was on the 2019 Chiefs. Not that he contributed too much. Not that he really contributed to it very much. Unlike killing his girlfriend, that was all him.
Oh.
I think that's all I got for the monologue.
Hey, you're better than
quicker.
You're better than the Super Bowl Hall of Fame. At least you're not gatekeeping.
I'm not gatekeeping. Well, the NFL Hall of Fame really big on gatekeeping. Yeah, so we got a bunch of comments and it's all reposted. So
yeah, well,
all right. Yeah, we got 65 people watching. So Giannis is a shareholder of Call She. And people are like really well, first of all, there's a lot of news with Giannis. One is that Giannis is staying in Milwaukee. And what he should have done was forced a trade to go. So he should have forced a trade, told the Bucks, these are the teams I want to go to. That's what he should have done. That would have been the smart thing to do. That's what he would have done if he was smart. Instead, he's going to waste more time in Milwaukee, and he's not going to win anything anymore again in that city.
I mean, at least he won one.
He won once. Absolutely. The point is, what more use does he have being in Milwaukee?
Not much. I mean, it's not like where Melo forced his way out of Denver to go to New York because he admitted he wanted to be in New York because that's where all the money can be made and all the marketing can be done. But I don't know. First of all, you have to worry about the injuries with Giannis because he's had 4 sprains like in a year and a half. Like, this guy can't stay on the court.
Yeah.
So he's a great player. Don't get me wrong. Is he ever going to be a Jokic? No. Jokic I think, is the best dominant big man in the NBA right now, currently. But Giannis can be a really good offensive player, but can he stay on the court?
Well, I would say Giannis is a top 5 player right now. He's not Jokic. He's not, not to compare him to other positions. He's not SGA. He's not as good as those guys, but I'd say he's probably right up there, probably the tier below that. A top 5 player, not the best player, but certainly a top 5 player. He's got to be.
I would say he has to carry his team more than Jokic does.
Right now, yeah. Right now.
I heard Windhorse saying on ESPN that they're kind of in a tough spot because they really can't tank.
Yeah.
But when Giannis plays, they're about a 500 team. When they don't play, they're a complete dumpster when he's out.
Yeah. That's why I don't understand why he's staying.
It really wasn't up to him. Like, it was up to Milwaukee because they said, what was the rule? If he was traded before the deadline, he could have gotten his max sooner, his max extension sooner. Yeah. But because now he wasn't traded, he now has to wait, I think, like a whole nother year before he can get his max deal because of the way it fell. And they probably didn't get the offer they wanted. Technically, Milwaukee's in the holding the cards.
Look, I think he should have forced his hand. He should have demanded a trade. That's what I think he should have done. I think it's a little bit of a product of, like, I think foreign players do that a little less often than American players. I think he should have pulled a Durant when he was with the Nets, where he just demanded a trade. That's what I think he should have done. That would have been the smarter move for him.
I mean, all right, here's the difference with Durant. Now, Durant, obviously, everyone knows the story that he was not going to win a title in OKC, even though they had the big 3 way back when of him and Westbrook and Harden, which, by the way, Harden got traded for the 10 millionth time at the trade deadline. And he was never going to win anything with the Clippers. especially with the whole aspiration situation going on down in
The trees.
the tree hugging love company.
Yeah.
So it believe it or not, even though he's from LA and that's why he wanted to go there, he's in a better spot with Cleveland now. Are they going to win? No. He already came out and said basically, I'm looking forward to the season being over.
Look, Harden has been everywhere, and everywhere he's been, he's totally wrecked the team.
He's Kevin Durant. He's literally Kevin Durant.
No, he's worse.
No, but
Kevin Durant at least has 2 championships. You can't say James Harden can't say the same.
No, I get that, but how many times has Kevin Durant demanded a trade out of every place he's been?
Oh, a bunch of times. I guess you could say in some ways he's a little bit like Kevin Durant. He's a little bit like what Kevin Durant is now. You can kind of say.
I don't think Durant's ever going to win a title again.
No, but at least he's won twice. James Harden hasn't won once. I mean, James Harden is a historically weak playoff performer. So I think James Harden's reputation is much worse than Durant's.
What you're talking about, the whole like strip clubs and getting fat?
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking strictly from a basketball perspective. His reputation is much worse. Like Durant has 2 rings, at least you can say. You can't say the same thing with Harden, and Harden's been on some super teams.
Well, so is Durant.
No, but the point is Durant won. Harden didn't win.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. Does Durant win that title without Steph Curry?
No.
Okay, so then even though he's won 2 titles and Harden has won none, are we really that far apart between the two of them?
Well, I would say yes, because Harden's been on good enough teams to win championships. I mean, that would be like, you could say the same thing. That would be like saying Magic hasn't won it. That would be like saying Kareem couldn't win a championship without either Oscar Robertson or Magic Johnson.
First of all, those guys are on a much different level than James Harden is.
No. But the point is that whenever you win a championship, you wouldn't have won without your next best guy.
Yeah, but there was no super team emphasis back then. Now everything is that you need 3 players who are the super guys. Which, by the way, you really can't do that anymore due to the cap. The way
I don't like the new rule.
The apron rule.
Yeah. I don't like the new CBA in basketball. I think it's really just setting teams up for mediocrity.
Well,
I don't think
it stops teams from saying, I'm going to go steal the top 5 players in the NBA and all these other teams can't compete. That's what it stops. Do I agree with it? No. If your team is willing to spend all the money, that's on you.
Exactly.
Go ask the Warriors, who they were at like $500 million at one point on their payroll, and they were willing to pay it because they won 3 titles in 5 years.
Well, here's the thing with like the whole. I think people pretend to hate the super team era. I don't think the super team era was really that bad. I mean, the super team era, like Warriors Cavs, was some of the most entertaining basketball I've ever watched.
Would you say by the 4th time it got a little annoying though?
No. Well, but 4th time it was only,
or was it 3 times? I don't even remember.
It was only no. It was 2015, 16, 17, 18. I would say the 4th time, yes, because the Cavs were so outmatched. They didn't really have a legitimate shot. That is true. I don't disagree. But that wasn't because the Warriors were a super team. It had more, that part of it was that, but it was more that like the Cavs, that was after Kyrie, and the East at the time was so weak. It had more to do with that than it did with the Warriors being a super team. But in 2017, when the Warriors and the Cavs were outmatched in that series too, but that was at least entertaining basketball. 2015 and 2016, those were some of the best finals we've ever watched.
Well, you had the 03 comeback, it was, or whatever
it was. 3-1 comeback. I mean, yes, that was in 16. That was the best finals ever. Or at least that I've seen. I can't speak for
was that the Iguodala block series or no?
Mm-hmm.
That first of all, that's still an incredible block to this day, which I still debate whether that was goaltending slightly on that block.
It wasn't. The ball was on its way up.
It looked like it was very close to hitting the backboard.
But it didn't. It hit LeBron's hand first and then hit the backboard.
I don't know. It was close. I think the call was right, but it was debatable of whether
It was well. Let's. I'll
you can't show it on here because
no. But I can look at it.
Yeah, you can look at it, but it was close. They still, first of all, it was a dominating comeback. I'm not taking the comeback away from them because LeBron led a team that really should not have been in the NBA Finals whatsoever.
Yeah, well, actually, that year, I wouldn't so much say it was that year as much. Well, it's not that they shouldn't have been in the NBA Finals because the team was fairly good, but they beat a 73-win team.
Right.
So,
well, that was the record-breaking year.
Yes. So, that is the greatest. I think that is the greatest finals victory ever. I can't think of any finals victory that is, well, I guess in some way that is more impressive for any individual player, meaning LeBron, in that series. Because, I mean, how many other guys can say that they beat a 73-win team in the finals? That was just. It's not because they came back from 3-1. That's not the reason why. But just being able to win that series was just amazing.
No, it was an incredible series, and I'm not taking anything away. I don't know. I got bored by the fourth time that series came by.
I agree. But it's because but it's really, it had more to do with the Cavs not being good enough than it did with the Warriors being too good.
Well,
I mean, the problem there, you can argue, is that there wasn't another super team that could compete with the Warriors.
Well, let me ask you another theory, because Callan and I discuss this all the time. Are you against like the small market teams making the NBA Finals, or are you one of those that says I have to see a major market team in the NBA Finals?
No,
I'm just curious because some people are different in that regard.
I mean, I think people say that, but they don't mean it. I mean, the Pacers are a small market team.
Pacers OKC went 7 games. I mean, that was
Pacers. Well, the issue with the Pacers Thunder is not really just that they're a small market. That has a little bit to do with it, but it's more that, like, look, small market teams can produce great ratings. I mean, Alabama football is in Tuscaloosa. That's a smaller market than any professional team is in, and those are amazing ratings. You can, or most college football teams that are super popular to watch, those are all small markets. The Cavs, they're a small market. The Pacers, Oklahoma City, and not this year's Oklahoma City team, but I mean, like the Durant Westbrook Oklahoma City team. That was, that produced great ratings. It's not true that it's really because they're small market. It's that the stars on those teams aren't really as marketable as they used to be.
Well, no, the question I had more of like, would you not watch the NBA Finals if like you saw small market teams in it? Because there are some people that say, unless it's Knicks, Lakers, I don't care about the NBA Finals.
No. I don't care at all. I just want the games to be entertaining.
Agreed. That's all that matters to me. Like Pacers, everyone like threw Pacers OKC to the side and said, "Oh my God, this is going to be a terrible series. It's two teams that don't get really followed that much." Even though the Pacers had an incredible season up until that point, until Halliburton got hurt at the beginning of the series.
And the Thunder, they were also, Oklahoma City was the 1 seed,
right,
in that series, and they had the MVP.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why you would say that. Like, that's not an exciting series.
No, I'm saying some people can't get it out of their minds that unless I see Lakers Knicks or I see Lakers Celtics, like, then it doesn't matter, which is kind of ridiculous if you ask me.
Right,
OKC's going on a run now.
Yeah, and they look they're a super team the way they're built.
Yeah,
you can argue that.
In some aspects, I would say they are.
I mean, do they look that much different than?
They got lucky because they drafted most of those guys.
Yeah, but they're going to be unlucky soon too because they're going to have to pay them.
Well, they already paid. What did they pay? They paid. I have to look this up, but they paid a lot of their guys already.
I know they paid SGA, but a bunch of the other supporting cast members, they're going to have to be getting paid too. And they're not all going to be able to get paid.
I'm trying to remember who. I'm looking at the payroll actually now, just because I'm trying to remember. Yeah, they paid Jalen Williams, who right now is hurt again. But he's the number 2 guy on the team. He's paid all the way through 2031. And he's going to be making 41, 44, 48, 51, 54, all the way to 2030.
I think the problem with this new CBA is that instead of preventing super teams, now we have it so that there's one super team and no other team that it seems to even really be close. That's a little bit of an issue.
Well, people don't like, this goes back to my gatekeeping theory partially, but like, oh, well, one team is gatekeeping all the stars and they're not allowed to be good. Well, if they paid the money and they want to pay over the cap, that's their choice to pay over the cap.
Exactly. There, like, all of that argument is stupid, and it never actually came true. Like, people were freaking out when the Warriors in 2018 signed DeMarcus Cousins in the offseason.
Yes.
And everybody was freaking out about how the Warriors are going to be so dominant. And then they didn't even win the championship that next season.
Well, you could say the same thing like when the Celtics, when they had Garnett, Pearson, Allen, and then they were signing like PJ Brown on their bench and everyone panic attack over it. And they were signing other like shooters for the minimum salary because that was the only room they had to sign guys at like mid-level or lower level exceptions, which I wish they would get rid of that rule, by the way, the lower, mid, and high level exceptions. Just allow the money to be part of the roster or the cap. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of caps in any sport at all.
Either. Well, I don't know. I see both sides of it. I am fine with football and basketball having salary caps. I'm not gonna advocate for them to just change that. What I will say is that I'm not really in favor of baseball instituting a salary cap.
It's going to cause a strike.
Well, yeah, not just that though, but you also have to consider that like baseball's lack of a salary cap has been good for the sport, at least in recent years. Like if you look at the fact that the Dodgers, Mets, Yankees, Padres are all some of the most relevant teams.
Well, there's still other rules in play though. Just because there's no salary cap, you still have a luxury tax. So
correct.
And I still think the Dodgers are a disgrace partially because they're just going out and spending $1 billion. And I'd have no problem if they weren't deferring it to the year 3005 and just saying, oh, I'm going to defer it. And then we'll pay that when the bill comes due. The Shohei contract for the 10 years, he's going to make $20 million for the 10 years that he's playing. And $680 million is going to come down the peak like 10 years later.
But here's the thing, though. I'm okay with that because all the other teams could do it, too. Why don't they just do the same thing and take advantage of it? Well, the Dodgers are not the only team allowed to deferred money.
I just don't like the whole deferred money thing because it's kind of like cheating on the payroll. Like,
but it's not, though. If every other team can also do it, like a lot of Yankee fans are mad about it. A lot of Met fans are mad about this. But the way I see it is that why doesn't Steve Cohen just defer money, too? Why don't they do it?
I'm not mad at it from a Yankee fan perspective of it. I'm mad at it from a baseball perspective of it because Rob is coming out and saying we're having issues and we can't figure out media rights and like he now I don't know if you heard this, but he basically wants to be a dictatorship and control all the local rights for Major League Baseball's TV rights.
Well, yeah, that's another discussion. But all I'm saying though is like people are like super mad about the Dodgers, and it's like first of all, they should do whatever they can to get an advantage that they're allowed to. But that's what they should do.
You want to know how
they're better at doing business than the other teams are. Why don't the Mets and Yankees just defer money? Like people are mad about the deferred money. Why can't they do it?
First of all, everyone defers money. Anyone who says that the Yankees have deferred contracts, the Mets have deferred contracts, the Braves have deferred contracts. Before Freddie Freeman went to the Dodgers, part of his Braves contract was deferred.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I had David Sampson, the former Marlins president, on Press Row a couple weeks ago, and we talked about this whole situation. And you want to know how ridiculous the rule is for deferment of money? He said the only rule that holds you accountable is you have to have the money in an escrow account for 1 day to prove you have the money to put aside. That's it.
But they have to actually have the money because they're still going to end up owing it.
Right, but he said by rule, Major League Baseball's rules, you only have to have it in an escrow account for 1 day.
Interesting.
Because I guess they're trying to see if you have the money, I guess. But I how do you fix this problem? If the Dodgers are just going to keep spending and spending and spending and spending and spending,
but
it's not good for the rest of baseball.
But you fix the problem by all the other teams doing the same thing.
Okay, but you can't spend the money that the Dodgers have.
Well, but that's not a deferred money issue. That's just, if anything, just a team having more money.
Now, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of the cap rule, but how do you stop the Dodgers from spending $1 billion in an offseason? That's a problem.
But look, they're just better at doing business than everybody else.
I don't know if that's doing business better than people.
But
I think that's just
it's within the rules and it's working.
You're a hedge fund, so you have all this money. That's what I think it is. Go ask the Saudi Public Interest Fund, which controls LIV and all of these other things. You realize that they're losing a shitload of money inside that LIV Golf League right now, and you're seeing guys who are saying, "Oh, sorry, my money situation it's not working anymore in LIV. I'm going to go run back to the PGA Tour." And LIV, they don't care if they're losing money. The Public Interest Fund is worth $940 billion, and by 2030, it's going to be worth $3 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
So my point is, if you have endless sums of money, you're just going to keep throwing at it, even if you're losing money in what you're doing.
But the Dodgers, a professional sports team, is not going to be losing money. I mean, yes, they can. I mean, they can lose money if they're too reckless with it, but they all care. I mean, owners don't want to lose money. That's why there's so much debate with like CBAs and things like that, because the owners have an interest in not losing money.
Well, obviously, and that's why you see owners like like Pittsburgh, who don't spend a damn cent, and that's why the Pirates are a terrible team.
That's part of what I don't like about salary caps is that, I mean, look, there's pros and cons to salary caps, but one of the cons is that it rewards cheap owners.
Well, I would go the opposite. You don't need a salary cap; you need a salary floor.
You can argue there's a stronger argument for a salary floor than there is for a salary cap.
You have to spend money that you make within your team. You can't just pocket money and say, "Oh, well, I own a baseball team. I don't have to spend anything on it anymore." Like,
I think there's a stronger argument for a salary floor than there is for a salary cap, for sure.
Yeah, caps again. They do have, like, people say, "Oh, well, the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Phillies, the Cubs can't spend money anymore." But I'll ask you something. Do you remember why the luxury tax was put in?
No. Is that a league rule?
So, yeah, it was done by Major League Baseball because at the time, the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Dodgers and the Angels and all those top teams were just outspending everybody to a point where they said, okay, this isn't fair. We're going to institute a luxury tax, which means the top teams have to pay revenue to the lower teams at the bottom. That way it evens out. Now, it's never going to even out ever because the Yankees and the Dodgers are just going to beat everybody to death with money. The Ohtani situation, I'll give you one that's crazy in itself. In the first year of Ohtani's $700 million contract, they made $700 million back. How? How is that possible? That's like, it shocks me how they could make that all back in a year.
Look, all I'm saying is that, like, this whole, like, Dodgers are ruining baseball narrative, I think it's so ridiculous because baseball is in good shape, objectively, in terms of ratings, in terms of overall popularity. Like,
What?
people, would you not say that baseball's in good shape?
No.
We just had we just had like the best World Series of our lifetimes. we just
Yeah, but the
witnessed.
ratings are in the toilet.
That's not true. The baseball ratings are up compared to what baseball is infinitely more popular than it was 2 years ago.
If the ratings are so good, why are teams losing their TV networks? Why are they leaving their TV networks? Why are they going off into streaming ventures if the ratings are
every
so good?
sport is doing that. The same thing is true in the NFL, that they're also going into streaming. Doesn't mean the ratings aren't good.
No, it means there's no money because there's no revenue.
No, there's less money in cable. There's less money in cable than there is in streaming. So the same thing is true in football. The NFL is putting games on Netflix. Doesn't mean the ratings aren't good.
But the NFL is king above everybody
No,
else.
but the point is that if your argument is that because a lot of baseball games are moving to streaming, the same thing is true in football and basketball too. They're going to streaming also. Like that doesn't mean the ratings aren't good. It just means there might be more money. Okay, the World Series viewership. The 7-game the World Series across the 7 games averaged 16.1 million viewers in the U.S., making it the most watched World Series since 2017. The 2025 World Series drew a combined 34 million viewers across the U.S., Canada, and Japan. I don't know from an international perspective, it did very well, probably because a lot of Japanese viewers because of Otani.
I laugh, by the way, when Rob comes out and talks about the ratings of the World Series, and we're including Canada and Japan and all this stuff in the ratings. I don't care about Canada.
I agree.
Like, give me the U.S. ratings. That's what I care. And you said, what, it was 16 million a game, you were saying?
Yes. Well, okay. So 2025's World Series Game 7 had 26 million viewers, and the NBA Finals Game 7 had 16 million viewers. Now, I'm not saying the NBA is in bad shape or that the MLB is permanently going to be in better shape than the NBA, but the MLB has become more national and also international, by the way, while the NBA is becoming a little bit more local. The MLB's ratings, World Series ratings, crushed the NBA's Game 7 ratings. I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but I don't see how you can say that baseball is in bad shape as a sport. I've never watched more baseball than I watch now. Like, I mean, that's just me. That doesn't prove anything, but like,
yeah, I can't watch baseball anymore. And I was a baseball first fan growing up. Like, I don't
watch. I'm not saying I watch baseball games start to finish or anything like that, but around this time, I think I watched more baseball than I used to. And I think, look, the World Series had their best ratings since 2017. And you know what? I always thought the baseball is a dying sport narrative was always just really over-exaggerated.
I think it has to do with age demo. That's why it's a dying breed. But
that doesn't mean, just because it's not growing as quickly as football is, doesn't mean that it's dying. That just means that it is what it is, and it's not going to be the most popular sport in America like it once was. It's not the most popular sport nationally, not even close. It's way less popular than the NBA, college football, and the NFL, but it's very big locally in certain markets. I mean,
but that's the problem. That
the Yankees, but that's how they make their money. Like, the Yankees can go 0-162 and they'd still be hugely popular in New York.
Well, okay, that's why I said before, leave to the side the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Phillies, the Cubs, the Angels. Leave those teams to the side because they have built-in larger markets to work with. Where you like you said, if the Yankees went 0-162, the fans are going to come out for every single game. They're still going to pay for parking. They're still going to go buy the jersey in the store, which is probably overpriced by $300. And they're going to buy food, which is overpriced. They're going to do what they do in New York markets or in LA markets. But pick another one, like Oakland. Well, not in Oakland anymore, Oakland or Vegas. And where
Sacramento.
Baseball is probably the last sport you think of in Sacramento. But that's going to be a struggle. Think about Pittsburgh. That's a struggle. Cincinnati, struggle.
Yep.
Colorado, that's a big struggle. And all those teams, I don't know if you saw the story over the last couple of days, are now under the MLB local umbrella that they're running for the sport for media because they all gave up their TV deals to have Major League Baseball take their TV rights over.
Yeah. No, well, I'm not saying baseball is hugely popular. I don't know how baseball is in every locality. I don't know how that works.
But I'm saying the reason that they're struggling slightly is because they're still treating it like a local sport, which it's not. Everything is now national.
Well, but baseball is still more national than it was before. There's always, even these past couple of years, there's always a lot of buzz about, Yankees, Dodgers. Those are always nationally televised games.
Well, right. And like I said, that's different because those are the two major markets being involved. But I don't know. Do you have Netflix or no?
Yes, I do.
Are you going to watch Yankees Giants on Netflix opening day?
No.
That's their first problem right there. Who's watching?
No.
It's an exclusive game, by the way. Meaning it's the only game that's going to be airing on opening day.
I wouldn't watch Yankees Giants if it was on cable either.
But that's my point.
That's just me though.
No, but I'm just making the point of Yankees Giants opening day on Netflix. You're already cutting your audience by what? 70, 80% by putting it on Netflix already because you have to have Netflix if you're gonna watch. I mean,
no, but they get a lot of money from Netflix, and also the thing is that everybody I don't really have that much of an issue with putting games on Netflix. My biggest issue with the streaming services is that it's a pain in the ass to flip from one to the other.
I agree.
That's one thing I don't like. Like you can with channels, and there probably will be that change will probably be made where you can flip between different.
There are people trying to make the technology where you could flip between the actual apps and the TV. I wish they would just make it part of so if you have Amazon, if you have Netflix, where you could fit it in like a channel in a sense into the guide. And that would be whoever figures that out, by the way, is going to make a lot of money. But I wish they would figure that out because if I want to watch Thursday Night Football, which I don't most of the time because the game is terrible on Amazon, but even though I have Prime Video, it's annoying to say, oh, well, it's halftime. Now I got to get out of my app on my TV just so I can go to the TV. And then when I'm ready to go back, then I got to go back in it again. It's a pain.
But on Thursday Night Football, I don't care as much because there's nothing else on that I typically that I want to be watching other than the Thursday night game. But if that's, I don't disagree entirely. It is sometimes a hassle. I don't have that much of an issue necessarily with them putting these games on streaming services. Sometimes my biggest issue is that the broadcast quality isn't good and things like that. That's always an issue. Like baseball games on Apple TV, the broadcast quality kind of sucks.
I wish they would get rid of it.
That I don't like. But these streaming services, like things like Netflix and Hulu and, all those bundles, everybody kind of has those. How many people do you know who don't have Netflix? Everybody has Netflix. More people have Netflix than have cable.
I mean, you'd be surprised, but it's just, I don't know. I guess because I think back to being younger when nothing was on streaming and I was able to access everything. Now you have to have Netflix, Amazon, Peacock, Paramount Plus, everything. You need a streaming service for everything now.
It seems like it. Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. I also think that it's maybe a case for to cut cable because it's not worth having cable.
I have YouTube TV.
Just having YouTube TV. So I think it's really just a transition phase. I don't get mad about games being on these streaming services. The only thing I just get mad at is when it's not user friendly or the broadcast quality isn't good. My issue is never with the fact that they move it there in and of itself because it's just look, I don't think that watching games is some type of birthright and they can put it on whatever service that they want, whatever platform that they want that they can use to maximize the amount of money that they can make off of it.
Well, let's make something else clear too. People think, oh, well, they're going to get more fans to watch on Netflix, Amazon, Peacock, Paramount Plus. If you think they're getting more fans, then I have a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn. But they're taking the money to go to the streaming platforms. You're literally cutting your audience when you go on a streaming platform. Like people don't realize that.
Yeah, but it also, I think that, I guess that's true in the short term, but not necessarily in the long term. In the long term, I think it's really their calculation, at least, is that will create, that will end up making more money for them long term rather than like that's their justification. Doesn't mean it's going to work,
Well,
but that I
let
think
me
that's
give you
their
another one.
justification.
So all the podcasts that are now on Netflix,
Yep.
all the video version sides on Netflix. I don't know if you watched any of those podcasts that were on YouTube that went to Netflix. But
Part of my take, I did.
so now, like, do you even give it two shits anymore because now it's on Netflix compared to YouTube? Because like I'm not going on. I have Netflix. I am not turning on my Netflix to watch a video version side of a podcast. I'm just not.
No, but I don't really spend a lot of time doing that anyway on YouTube. I mean, look, I have Netflix. I go on Netflix all the time. So if I really wanted to, I would, but I just don't.
But I'm
usually
saying
have
for the
much
most
time.
part, you forget it's on Netflix.
Yeah, no, I get that on some level because YouTube is a little more accessible, but then again, on Netflix they can make more money off of it.
That's
They
the
can.
classic. That's the classic debate of: is the money worth it, or is the audience hit worth it?
Well, it could be worth it depending on how much money, because the whole point of having an audience, from a business perspective, is to make money off of that.
I get it, but so this is an example I used with some guys here on another show. If Netflix came to us right now, and I know I'm just play along with my example. So if Netflix came along and said, they'll give ETB Network $10 million, but all your video sides have to go be on Netflix and you can't be seen anywhere else. You can't access it. All the video stuff has to be, including all the digital that goes along with it. All the clipping, all the everything has to be on Netflix. How do you see that as a value proposition?
I mean, yeah, I'd take it. $10 million?
But no one can find you anywhere except for Netflix.
Yeah, I'd take it. We'd be able to spend way more time on our shows. We'd probably be able to add a bunch of shows and make even more money off of it because none of us would need to have jobs. So like that would be amazing.
I mean, I don't know if it's that simple. I know what you mean.
$10 million? Yeah.
But would you worry
I mean, look, our viewership on YouTube, I mean, it depends on the shows we put out.
No, forget I'm not even talking about the amount of views on YouTube. I'm just saying generally. Like if Netflix said, okay, we'll give you $10 million, but you're not allowed to be on YouTube and you're not allowed to do anything on YouTube whatsoever or any other videoing platform because we're exclusiving everything to Netflix.
I mean, I think it would depend on how, because, realistically, for something like that to happen, we would have to have a really, really big audience.
No, I'm agreeing. I'm just saying.
It would depend. I guess in reality, it would really just depend on whatever the circumstances are. That's really how it would really depend on all of that.
Now, the one thing I forgot to caveat with that too is that so Pardon My Take and all the Barstool podcast and the Ringer podcast and everything that went over, they still own their audio rights.
Yep.
So you can still go for free and listen to Pardon My Take on any podcast platform or any other podcast.
Exactly. And I mostly listen to it. I don't really care about the video side of it.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends if I'm sitting at my computer. Sometimes I'll have it like on a half a screen while I'm working on something else. If I'm sitting down for that much time. But I don't know. Like I heard Portnoy and all of them coming out and say, oh, it was a no-brainer and we would sign this deal 10 times out of 10 if it was offered to us 10 times. Yeah, dude, you could say that because you made all that money already. Is my point that I'm getting at. Like, if it wasn't for... Oh, go ahead.
All right, yeah. The point is, it wouldn't be a good deal for Portnoy if it wasn't going to end up making him money. That's the whole point.
No, but him saying it was a no-brainer and I didn't even give it a thought as soon as the deal came across his desk. That was what he said. Like,
yeah, he's probably right.
But
he's probably right.
That though, because you sold the company once, then you got it back for $1.
Yeah.
What was the name of the company again that gave him a hard time? The gambling company.
which is now Chernin.
Yeah, well, is that the
That's who
parent
bought
company?
it.
Yeah,
That's
but
who bought it. Now it's like, well, didn't the Barstool Sportsbook, now that's ESPN Bet?
no, that's gone too. That got dissolved. Penn.
Penn, that's it. Penn National. Yeah, Penn.
Chernin Group owned a portion of it, and then Penn came over the top, I think, and bought it for whatever that was. And then because they didn't like that one of Barstool's guys said the N-word during a rap on a video, they said, we're done with this.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's why.
Well, no, that caused a huge problem because they couldn't get the licenses.
Well, he got fired for it, but then after Dave bought the company back, he hired him back.
By the way, best steal of all time, getting Barstool back for $1.
Yeah, really. Anyway, can we talk about Giannis, actually? Because this banner's been up for 45 minutes, and we haven't talked about it. So Giannis is a shareholder of Kalshi.
Yeah.
Kalshi. And he put out a video. A tweet.
Was it a GIF, I think?
Advertising it. And I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting because I'm first getting into these prediction markets. I have to actually add. The only thing I don't like about these prediction markets is that it's a huge pain in the ass to add money to your account.
Oh, you actually started doing it?
Well, I'm looking. I want to place some Super Bowl prop bets.
Oh, like the real props
that you can only do on Kalshi or Poly Market.
What, all the like pop culture type ones or actual sport?
No, maybe some bets on the halftime show. I want to bet on Cardi B to show up.
I think she might show up. Actually.
I think she probably will.
That might be a good bet, actually.
I want to do now here's the guy bet. I want to see
Patrick Mahomes.
Chris Collinsworth bringing up Mahomes. There's a whole lot of bets that I want to make on either.
Did you hear though? He said like he's not even thinking, but I'm probably going to end up bringing his name up anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying I want to make all of these bets, and I can't. I don't know if I have much of an issue with Giannis being on.
It's a conflict of interest though, because there is a tweet out there, and I'm trying to find it, but it talks about how there's a market up because they're not bets, they're called markets. I think on Kalshi or Poly Market, that it was put out. Oh, will Giannis be traded or will he stay with the Bucks? And people were claiming that was put out there before it was announced that he was going to be a Kalshi shareholder. So that is a little bit of conflict.
Yeah, I get that. I think they're definitely. I think there definitely could be a conflict of interest if he's a shareholder. But as a shareholder, is he involved in any of the operations?
Doesn't matter. You still own. As a shareholder, you own the operation of that stuff is going on under, and your name is on a market that's out there that people can bet.
I guess that's true on some level. I don't know. I don't really know all the ins and outs of the details of him being a shareholder. He was the first NBA player to directly. Okay, so all this really means is that he's an investor in the platform.
Right. He owns, well, I just looked it up. So apparently he owns less than 1% in Kalshi.
I mean, realistically, will that be a conflict of interest? I suppose it could. I'm not really totally convinced that
they need to remove the markets with him in it. Because he can control that. Technically.
I guess technically, I don't really know exactly all the ins and outs of it.
So it says here, and this is from a Reddit post, but it says Giannis made up a rumor that he would leave the Bucks, causing people to bet a total of $23 million as to whether or where he would go on Kalshi, an unregulated gambling insider trading platform, which it is. He stays in Milwaukee and comes out today as a Kalshi stakeholder.
Okay, so according to The Athletic, the NBA's recent CBA allows players to advertise and take stakes of up to 1% in sports betting companies, as long as they're not promoting league-related wagers.
That's a league-related wager.
No. Giannis himself can't be promoting league-related wagers.
You're going to tell me though that when he said he wanted to be traded or he was going to stay in Milwaukee, that wasn't going to affect that betting market.
Oh no, it would, but that's not what this says.
Oh no, I get that.
Yeah, and then Kalshi said it will partner with Antetokounmpo. Weird that he's referred to as his last name.
Yeah.
Kalshi said that it will partner with Giannis on marketing and live events, and in accordance with the company's strict terms of service that ban insider trading and market manipulation.
So
he will not be allowed to trade on markets related to the NBA.
Okay, but still,
this is all like he's not breaking any rules. Maybe perhaps the rules should be different. I don't know. But
would you say the timing was a little bit weird, though, considering that he said, oh, well, I want to be traded or I'm staying in Milwaukee. Afterwards, it comes out that he's a Kalshi stakeholder now.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, I do think it's a little weird. The timing is a little strange for when he announced it, but also we all kind of knew that he wasn't going anywhere before the deadline anyway.
Well, the Bucks had more to say about that than him. He wanted out. He made it clear he wanted out.
I don't think he really pushed very hard.
No, if you saw
he didn't demand a trade or anything. He said he likes, like, there were always all these rumors about him wanting to go play for the Knicks, about how he likes New York.
I just think the Bucks didn't get the right deal. That's why he didn't get traded.
No, that's probably true, but
he doesn't have a no trade clause or anything.
No, the point I'm making is that he could have demanded a trade like most NBA players would have done.
Well, I think the one circumstance is because you won a title in Milwaukee, it makes it a little tougher to want to leave or move because you won already there. It's not like James Harden who gets traded 10 million times. He's never won a title. Or Durant beforehand.
Well, I don't think that's the reason why. I think Giannis has a certain affinity for that city, and he's played there for so long.
I just don't like the timing of this. First of all, if it were me, I wouldn't allow any athletes to own any percentages in gambling companies.
That's not an unreasonable. That is not an unreasonable position at all. I totally get that.
Because LeBron, you've probably seen that annoying commercial with LeBron and Kevin Durant with DraftKings 1 million times already so far. And the rule for the NBA is that as long as you're not endorsing NBA bets, like you just said, but he's allowed to go endorse NFL betting and MLB betting.
Well, I don't think it's. I don't think there's anything wrong with that because he's not endorsing NBA betting. Well, the NBA and NFL, he has nothing to do with. Durant and LeBron have nothing to do with the NFL, so it doesn't matter.
You're going to tell me they don't have any strong pull over anything else besides their league?
No, I mean, what does LeBron have to do with the NFL?
No, I'm just saying he has powers to connect with anybody he wants. Is my point. He could find out information from anybody if he really wanted to.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know what connections LeBron has in the NFL that gives him.
You don't think he knows athletes or has friends?
Well, yeah, I'm sure he does, but like that could also be said about a lot of celebrities and sports commentators and things like that. Like, you don't think that sports commentators also have connections to people in the leagues too?
Oh, well, they have to because that's how they do the games.
Right, exactly. But does that mean that like they shouldn't be allowed to bet on sports either? Like some of that becomes a little bit murky.
Well, they're not supposed to. Broadcasters are not supposed to. I think that's changed.
That's slightly. Not true. Broadcasters, no. Broadcasters are allowed to bet on sports.
I'm talking about play-by-play.
Oh, right. No, you're right. You cannot. I think you can bet on sports, but you can't bet on games that you're calling.
That's true. You can't because that would be a massive conflict.
That would obviously be an issue. But if you're a basketball player and you're betting on football, I mean, look, they can't. Durant and LeBron, they can't promote betting on basketball, but they can be in like a DraftKings ad. I think that's a little bit different.
I don't know. I just think if they're not allowed to promote one sport, they shouldn't be doing it for anything. If that's
but I do think there's a difference. I get that, but there's still a difference between saying, okay, you can't do it in this sport, but you can in sports that we have nothing to do with. I can understand that logic a little bit.
But at the same time, they said that this Kalshi Giannis deal is a first of its kind, because this is literally an active player owning part of a gambling company. Oh, sorry, prediction market.
A prediction market.
Well, I jokingly say that because I got in trouble with Novig because I accidentally called them a gambling company and they yelled at me for it.
Is it a prediction market?
I'm like, guys, it's gambling. Stop. It's literally gambling. What is it? If it's
objectively, it is gambling. Also, now that we're not sponsored by them anymore and they got banned in New York and California,
yeah,
we don't have to pretend to like them anymore.
No. I've said nasty things about them already on Press Row.
Well, Novig, they had, and we talked about this on Unnecessary Wagers, they have like really funky odds.
Yes.
Like they would have a spread, but like one of them is like plus 110 and then the other is like minus 130.
It doesn't make any sense. You're right.
Right. The odds don't make any sense on Novig.
Well, isn't it supposed to be the same odds plus minus on each side? Or is that not?
No, it doesn't have to be exactly the same. Like one might be plus 100 and the other might be minus 120, but it's usually close.
You're right. I've seen ones that are like plus 110 and minus 200 something. That threw me off. Like,
yeah, Novig is super weird in that sense.
But then there's all these rules that you can't bet over a certain. Well, you can't say bet either. Oh, there's so many rules. I couldn't say anything
because technically, like you get points, but you have to actually put money in for the points, so the points are effectively money anyway.
Right. And I used to get into arguments with them all the time about that. I'm like, it's a bet. What else am I supposed to call it?
Of course it's a bet.
Well, no, but they used to yell at me. They said I can't use the word bet. And I'm like, then what is it? Tell me what it is.
That was probably their lawyers telling them that. But yes.
It's a bet.
Objectively, it's a bet. Like, objectively, but you're not allowed to word it that way because in today's society, we have to, like, change language.
Oh, what is it? Oh, a wager? Is that the word you want me to use? A wager?
Yeah.
Not that either. I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know.
This whole thing is kind of... I think this is bad because then this is going to lead down the road to... We already had a gambling scandal. A gambling scandal in the NBA due to insider information. Now you're putting more insider information into the limelight with this deal.
Yeah, I think that I certainly think that could be an issue. Although I think that could be an issue whether that could be an issue no matter what. Certainly that could be an issue. I don't know if it'll cause any issues for sure. I mean, look, all the stuff that all these scandals with the NBA had nothing to do with prediction markets or anything quite like this. It was more involved with like the mafia and, you know, Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier just being involved with the wrong people.
I mean, no, I get that. And you had these face cards, which that's the term that made me laugh because they're acting like they're the mob when they're really just not. I mean,
well, no, they were working with the mob.
They were working with the mob, but they were pretending to be the mob, these NBA players.
No, they're pretending to be legit poker players.
That's
what they're pretending.
Well, it felt like a bad James Bond movie where they were wearing glasses where they could see through the cards or all this nonsense. But I don't know if you remember, just to finish on the Kalshi and the poly market thing. Did you see last month that they had I think it might have been a poly market bet on the U.S. capturing Nicolas Maduro?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they did.
And the information leaked. And then someone placed like a huge, like hundreds of thousands bet and ended up winning on that. Oh, so how did you become a millionaire? Oh, I bet on Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro being caught.
Well, that's on them because that just ended up costing them money.
I told you, one of my favorites is I go on Kalshi and they have that you can bet on the temperature for the day in whatever state. And they give you like a 12-hour countdown clock. So you could literally wait until a minute left or whatever and just say, oh, I think it's going to be this. Now, I don't know what they use to measure this. Or are they putting a thermometer outside in the ground and just saying whatever temperature it lands on, that's what they're going to use? Or
I've always wondered because, like, for instance, you might say temperature in New York City, but
yes,
there's many different parts of New York City. Like, is the temperature in Manhattan the exact same as it is in the Bronx and Queens, Brooklyn,
yeah,
Staten
that's what I
Island?
wonder.
But
Right.
like, I think the way it works is that for the official temperature in New York City, I think they do it in like Central Park.
Oh, do they?
I think so, and that's the official temperature. But like, it doesn't even really make sense.
So I just went on Kalshi myself. They have a category called climate. That's the category. And they said highest temperature in New York City today, 26 to 27 degrees or 23 degrees or below.
Wow.
And they give you, I don't know what these multipliers are, but because the way these bets, it's traded like being on a stock market. You buy shares into whatever choice you make, and then you make a percentage of whatever the money is if your choice wins. But I don't know. I can't make heads or tails of some of these. Like Bad Bunny's halftime opener. I don't know who either of these people are that they put down here.
Who do they put down?
I can't even pronounce Titai Mi Pregento
No idea who that is.
or Chambia. Don't know
No
who either
idea.
of those are. Who will perform the big game? Cardi B, and I don't know who that other person is. There's so many of these. Like it's
Well, let's go through some. You know what? Let's go through some Super Bowl prop bets.
we had fun with this on forecast as well. Some of these.
So here's Callan sent a bunch of them.
Yeah, and then I gave some. I think Tom sent a bunch too inside the chat. I mean, the Gatorade color is the most common one. Obviously, I think that's going to be yellow or whatever, green, because I think the Seahawks are going to win. But
wait, so I got one. So here's one. Over under 2.5 times. A commentator mentions the Malcolm Butler interception during the first quarter. That's an under. There's no way they mentioned it more than
that's
3.
an under.
That's an under.
Unless you get Collinsworth going on like a Patriots kick or whatever, then that's going to be an under.
I would probably take the under. All right, Bad Bunny multiplier. Does Bad Bunny perform more than 3 songs in Spanish before his first guest appearance? No.
No. By the way, there was one out there, and I don't know if it's on your list, and we did it on forecast. Someone said, is he going to say fuck ice during his halftime show?
And well, here's the question. What if he says it in Spanish?
No, I think it actually, when they say it spelled out, it actually has to be
In
English, I think.
I would say, if I were to take a guess,
I think he's going to say it.
I think he is.
Even though like the FCC regulations are so strict ever since the whole Janet Jackson fiasco.
Well, that doesn't matter because they'll end up bleeping it out.
That's what I mean. Like it used to only be 7 seconds. I heard now that they have like 20 to 25 seconds of delay during the halftime show now. So they're not going to, he'll get bleeped out if that happens. But the problem is, what if you don't actually hear it? That's another thing. And he actually says it.
Yeah, I wouldn't place a bet on it. I would say no. And also, wait a second. I'm just trying to look for it. Last I checked, the odds for it weren't very high. Wait, I'm trying to.
I have another one here. How long will the halftime show last? At least 14 minutes or at least 15 minutes?
At least, I would say at least 15 minutes.
Isn't it normally a standard 15 minutes usually?
Actually, it's maybe more like 10 normally. But well, that's regular. You mean the halftime show or halftime?
Halftime show.
Yeah, 15 minutes sounds about right.
Yeah, I agree.
Wait, I'm just trying to find it.
I'm just looking to see if there's any other funny.
Why is it all in Spanish?
For what?
Super Bowl
Kalshi?
Yeah, because like
I'm not Kalshi.
For me, these are all showing up in Spanish. A lot of these are showing up in Spanish.
Oh, mine's not.
Like Super Bowl MVP is like with an A with a tilde on it. What the hell? This makes no sense.
Let's see what else we got here. Oh, will the 2026 NFL, Super Bowl champs visit the White House? The answer is yes.
I would say yes. Given both these teams, yeah, I think they will. Well, but wait, what do you mean? But what does that count though?
The
Because
standard visit when a champion
no.
opinion.
But what I'm saying is, like, what if only like 3 guys show up? Does that count?
Yeah, because they usually put a date on the calendar for the president invites the winning team to
Yeah.
the White House, and then some
It's
will
not
show
like
up
the
and some won't.
Warriors. It's not like the Warriors one year when nobody showed up. But that's basketball. In football, somebody's going to show up.
Yeah, someone will show up.
So I think so.
Yeah, I would say yes. Some of these are just.
Oh, here it is. Here's some. Who will perform at the halftime show? Want to hear something crazy? Ricky Martin is there. It's at 80%. What?
Not a chance.
Cardi B is only at 45%, and Lady Gaga is at 75%.
I would take Cardi B in a heartbeat. I would.
Oh, absolutely.
Here's another.
Oh, J Balvin is at 32%. I would take that.
That one might actually happen, but this is just funny. Will Green Day say MAGA or Make America Great Again during the Super Bowl opening ceremony? I forgot. Green Day's doing the opening ceremony.
Yeah, like it's the Olympics.
Yeah.
I would say, like, what the odds are? What is it like? I would say 40% that they'll say it.
Oh, where'd it go? Here it is. Yes is 57%. No is 43% right now.
All right, that sounds about right. Wait. Yes is 57%?
Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of crazy, right?
I thought it would be lower.
See, I don't know why this bet is still up because they announced who it was. Who will be the headliner of the Turning Point USA's All-American?
We know it's Kid Rock, right?
Yeah, but the bet is still sitting up here. Wait, can you technically bet on that, even though the information?
I don't know. So what will be said during the Super Bowl? President at 74%. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Now here's a guy at 76%. You got to take that.
Oh, I would take that in a heartbeat.
Unbelievable at 90%.
Really? I would take that one.
I would take it. Yeah, I'd take it. Now here's a guy, 76%.
I'm wondering if that's in his head now because of like all the gambling shtick that comes out with that. Like, what was it with Joe Buck? Because they used to make a joke about things Joe Buck would say also during a broadcast. What was his big thing?
Well, he was just like nothing that he actually said, but he was like he was always made fun of for being very monotoned.
No, but I thought there was a few lines like Collinsworth, like he would say during the broadcast too. But
not the way Collinsworth, not like what Collinsworth is known for.
Now here's a guy.
Yeah, not like now here's a guy or Mahomes or something.
Oh,
like
wait.
that.
Tom told me there was a bet for the slide in at the beginning of the broadcast.
Oh, wait.
The Collinsworth slide in.
I would say yes.
I would say yes.
I would probably take it.
That's a ridiculous, degenerate bet, if you ask me.
Of course it is.
All these are degenerate bets.
Of course it is. These bets are all ridiculous.
I'm trying to see what else. I mean, some of these are not Super Bowl related. Let's see. Oh, who will headline this? Wait, is this for next year? Yeah, this is for next year. Who will headline the Super Bowl halftime show next year?
I have no idea.
And they have Lady Gaga and Justin Bieber listed already. God,
I have no idea.
No one wants to see Justin Bieber leading a halftime show. Oh, how many people will watch the big game? And they give 2 numbers.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
Well, I'll give you the front because that's an easier number to remember. Above 123 million or above 127 million?
What were the odds?
Above 123 million is, well, wait a minute. How does that make any sense? Oh, no, it does. Above 123 million is 82%, and above 127 million is 57%.
It sounds about right. Here's will Bad Bunny wear a dress or skirt at the Super Bowl?
Oh. You realize that all because he said this out of like
I'd say no.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no. He said that at a satire more than anything. I don't think he was actually.
Yeah, I don't think he's actually going to wear a dress.
But
Ricky Martin at 78% for the halftime show, that's surprising.
I just find it insane that so someone asked him about, is there concerns that because you're going to be doing most of the halftime show in Spanish, like, are you concerned people are going to watch? And he said, well, everybody had all season to learn Spanish to watch my halftime show.
I'm pretty sure he was joking when he said that.
That is a little weird. That's kind of a ballsy thing to say, though.
Well, here's the thing, though. Why does it matter if the songs are in Spanish? I don't really care what he's actually saying. He's not giving a speech. He's performing his music. Why does it matter if it's in Spanish?
I just wish I could understand it.
I don't really care if I understand the music or not. I mean, I don't really think it matters that much what songs in Spanish are actually saying.
I'm probably not going to watch the halftime show, though.
No, I won't either. I use the time to go to the bathroom, but
yeah, I'm getting up and walking around after sitting for too long.
Like, I don't really care about the halftime show. But the thing with the Super Bowl is that it's like, it's not really just targeted at football fans.
Well, it's a pop culture event now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. Like, we all get invaded on now, like, oh, football fans, and now the whole Taylor Swift brigade caused it to be a pop culture event.
Exactly. And, everybody has Super Bowl parties.
Everybody. And, like, I've heard people before, like, they don't know a damn thing about football, and they're throwing a Super Bowl party. Like, why?
Because it's not just about right. Because there's no reason you need to throw a Super Bowl party.
Here's another good one. Will Travis Kelce announce his retirement before next season? I would say
yes.
Oh, you think he is? I don't think he is. And then, of course, one of my favorites: will Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson be married before 2027?
No. Be married
That's
or
what it
engaged?
says.
No,
it says be married before 2027.
No.
You think they're going to get engaged?
No, the point is that the engagement comes first. You think that they would, like, a lot would have to happen this year for that to happen?
Not in today's day and age. Everyone goes to
run
off.
What happens if they end up eloping, though? Do you then end
That's
up?
What I mean.
Like, do you then get your money afterwards? Like, how does that even work?
Well, eloping is marriage. So
no, but it's not public is the point. So how would you get your money? Like, Aaron Rodgers has a secret wife that nobody knows about.
His whole life is a secret in general.
I don't blame him I don't blame him for that, by the way. It's like the media is so obsessed with him. You think it's crazy that he'd want to keep his personal life a secret?
He does everything else publicly.
Like, I don't know.
I mean, he goes into the darkness in a house for 72 hours without food or water or whatever. I mean, I find it weird that we don't know who she is. I find that a little strange.
I find it weird, but it's like, I don't blame him. It's his personal life. Like, he doesn't mind being in the limelight. Maybe she doesn't want to be, and he doesn't want to subject her to that.
Kind of curious, Aaron Rodgers' dating history, because he's dated some interesting people.
He has.
Let's see. Oh, Olivia Munn. I remember when that was the whole thing. Danica Patrick.
That was a little weird. Danica Patrick.
Shailene Woodley.
Shailene Woodley.
I don't know who that is.
She's an actress.
Okay. Mallory Edens. I don't know who that is. Oh, wait. It says, I think this is the name of the person. The name of the person is Brittany. One name. Like Beyonce. One name. Confirmed in December 2024, Rodgers has been in a serious relationship with a woman named Brittany. 2 T's. By June 2025, reportedly revealed and had married her in a private ceremony earlier that year. Amazing.
Olivia Munn's older than Aaron Rodgers. She's 40. Yes. I didn't know that.
Yeah. She's a comedian, right?
No, she's an actress.
Oh, I thought she was a comedian.
Or maybe she's also a comedian. I don't know.
I don't remember anymore. No, I think she's a comedian. I think.
No, she's mainly an actress.
I remember when he was dating Danica Patrick. That was like a whole public spectacle.
Well, yeah, that everybody remembers.
Talk about someone who was completely outspoken. Danica Patrick.
Yeah, Danica Patrick is... Yeah, I know her more for dating Aaron Rodgers than for being a NASCAR driver.
Like, she fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, well, I guess a lot of former athletes tend to do that.
I mean, she's got a decent following on social media, but
So like the thing with Super Bowl parties is like what kinds of people? Some people like Super Bowl parties, like watching the Super Bowl by themselves.
that's
And
weird.
on some level, I don't want to do that because I don't want to be lonely. But I will say that's like watching the ball drop by yourself. But
That is weird. Yeah.
I understand it on some level because some people are horrible to watch the Super Bowl with.
That's funny. Okay.
Is it, dude? Is it completely incorrect? Like the people that talk during all the big moments of the game
I agree with you.
and
Yeah.
try and just distract you the whole time.
I think it depends on what's going on. Like if it's a certain type of party or if you're mingling during a Super Bowl event type thing. I think it depends on that. If you're moving around, then I guess people are going to talk. If you're sitting,
Look, at a Super Bowl party, the main focus should be the game because that's why you're all there.
Yeah, I agree. But I don't know that. But again, because we call this a pop culture event, and it's no longer about the game as much anymore. People, I mean, are girlfriends and wives really there to watch the game?
No,
Unless let me take that back slightly. You do have some girlfriends and wives who are football fans,
of course.
but are they really there most of the time to watch the Super Bowl? No.
I mean, some of them could be, but if they aren't, then no, I would say.
I mean, for guys, it's different. Like they're either there hanging out with their buddies or they have a bet on the game and they want to watch it, which I do. But I took a creative bet for this year too. We could talk about that, I guess, in a little bit.
I took Seattle and the under.
Yeah, you and I are tracking on that same thing. I thought the number was way too high for the total.
Yeah.
46 points. This is a number 1 and like number 5 defense in this game. Tom said that
it seems it seems a little low. It's a little lower than average. I mean, a little high is what I meant to say.
Yeah. I don't think 46 points. By the way, 4 or 5 people on Forecast took the over. Like, I was shocked. Like,
look, the reason I don't think this game is going over is because they, the Patriots, they don't score a lot. They haven't scored a lot the entire playoffs. And also, the Seahawks, they don't really run the score up. I mean, sure, they put up 41 against the Niners, but they weren't trying to put up 41 points against the Niners. They just kept running the ball, and the Niners couldn't stop them. They don't really run up the score very much. So it's very unlikely that this game is going to be high scoring.
No, I agree. I could see this. Well, I shouldn't say I see this. I took a bet on an exact score. I took 24-17 Seattle over the Patriots as a.
Yeah, I think that's a good bet.
We'll see if it happens. By the way, I didn't put a lot on it, but at plus 7,500, it will pay out good if it hits.
Yeah. Wait, can we get to this story at the NFL Honors Awards? Drewski can't pronounce.
Let me grab
Jackson Smith and Jigba's name.
Yeah,
I got it right here.
Wait, let me turn the loop off. Okay, now go ahead.
All right.
The winner decided not to pull up tonight, so I guess on his behalf, Jackson Smith Njigba. Nigaba. Najiba. And Jigba. JSN.
That's about as close to the N-word I've ever heard.
That's close. It literally is the N-word.
That's why, like, I just try to stick to JSN when I refer to him and not tempt fate.
Well, I just say Jackson Smith in Jigba. It's a really easy name.
For a lot of times, I'll just say Smith in Jigba, so I don't have the chance to screw it up either.
How is saying the name Jackson making it easier to screw up?
No, but I'm saying just putting Smith in front of it, then you're in the moment, you're not going to screw up in Jigba. At least in my own head. But
I don't know. I thought it was very funny.
I mean, he's another influencer. It's almost like he was looking for that attention. He said it right the first time. If you
Well,
listen
no.
The winner decided not to pull up
Yes.
tonight, so I guess on his behalf, Jackson Smith Njigba.
he left out the
It's not
I.
Njigba, it's in Jigba.
Okay, but he was a lot closer than when he tried to
Oh,
overcorrect.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
Because that almost led to a very uncomfortable word being said. On,
But he actually did say it.
did he? Let me put
I
it.
know.
Oh, there. Yeah, right there.
Najiba.
Got worse.
JSN.
Najiba.
Let me just scream out JSN to make it all better.
Look, nothing beats the way Mad Dog
Yes.
or Francesa and Mad Dog.
No, Mad Dog is worse.
No, Mad
Worse.
Dog's was worse, but it was pretty amazing.
What was the Yankee pitcher? Oh God, what was the Schlister or Schlisser?
Oh, Schlittler.
Schlittler, and he said Shitler.
Yeah. And big David Ortiz said Hitler.
God. I mean, there's so many, and then it just makes me think of the Nickelodeon thing also.
Nickeldonian. He
Yes.
couldn't pronounce Jarrett Stidham's name. So Mad Dog.
By the way, he said that he didn't say what, but he said he put a lot of money, an obscene amount of money on this game. You want to talk about someone who doesn't give a crap about broadcast rules whatsoever.
Well, Mad Dog's allowed to bet on these games. He's not a play-by-play guy.
No, I know, but I'm saying I heard he bets tens of thousands of dollars on games.
Yeah, probably because he can. He has the money. I mean, Dave Portnoy does it too. He bets.
Well, first of all, Dave, he put out something the other day that he said after the victory against the Bills on Sunday Night Football, he made a $50,000 bet, I think, on the Patriots to win the Super Bowl, and it would pay out $1.2 million or something. He said, which he probably does not need at all. To him, gambling is like a spectator sport, probably at this point, right?
Yeah.
Does the money really matter to him?
Well, yeah, I mean, it does. You'd rather win than lose. I think everybody's like that.
No, but I'm saying to him, it's just like a hobby, betting.
Yeah, but most bettors, what else would betting be other than a hobby?
No, but I'm saying for a rich person, gambling is
Gambling's a hobby for a poor person too.
Is it?
Yeah.
It sounds like a problem to a poor person.
Well, no, I think to a poor person, I don't think it's necessarily a problem unless you're an addict and you can't stop. But I mean, the only difference between rich and poor people gambling is that rich people bet more money because they can. They have more of it, so they can bet more of it. Yeah, that's really all gambling is. It's a hobby. It's not a job. Nobody's full-time job is to be a gambler unless you're a professional poker player.
I disagree. All these, you see all these gambling influencers now who try to claim it's their job.
No, but their job is not gambling. Their job might be talking about gambling, but their job is not just going on DraftKings and winning a bunch of bets. It doesn't work that way.
No. First of all, no one wins all their bets.
Nobody wins enough to make a living off of gambling. Nobody does.
Speaking of betting, you probably saw it, but I had Scott Farrell on Press Row.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, you would have had a blast. He went so far above the line, it was insane. He was above R.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard.
And he was telling stories about the Stern Show, and he never would have left the Stern Show channel if it wasn't for the suits at Sirius. Yeah, what is he doing now? Oh yeah, he's got his own gambling show now, or
he has a gambling. I'm pretty sure he charges for picks.
I think it's called Pharrell and the Prophet, I think is what it's called now.
Yeah. Was he on the latest episode of Press Row?
Yeah. This past Wednesday.
Yeah,
he was on fire. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But that's how he is.
Who else did you have on that show?
Ironically, Brandon from Playback, formerly Playback.
Oh, okay. I guess you're not going to have the Novik guy on.
No. Screw those people.
Yeah, no, I heard he was a little crazy.
Crazy being nice.
Yeah,
I like uncensored radio. It doesn't bother me.
I do too.
All these hacky FCC regulation people, I wish they'd go away. Like,
I agree. Abolish the FCC.
like I'm tired of it. Like, is a curse really going to destroy a kid's ears?
I think that, look, a lot of radio stations still wouldn't allow cursing anyway, just for professionalism. But if they do allow cursing, I think they should be allowed to. There should be no FCC restrictions on it.
My favorite is I was listening to Mad Dog on satellite one day, and someone just dropped a curse word, a caller. And he's like, "This is a family show." You're on satellite. That's the one time you don't have to worry about FCC regulation because you can't regulate a satellite. You just can't. I mean, I don't know. Like when I was working at ABC, it was a nightmare. Like they had me dumping words that were not even curse words at one point.
Yeah, it's a weird.
I don't know if they give you that issue whenever you were running like the actual shows at
no,
Fox.
It's not a thing.
Yeah, like they were
not with me. That was
like they were, like some of these words. I guess it's like iffy whether you're supposed to or not. Like what's the one I hear all the time? I heard Geo. Like Geo just says the word penis like all the time, just on Boomer and Geo. I think back in the day you would have had to censor that or dump it out. Now they don't at all whatsoever. Or what was that rule? Oh, if it's a medical term, you're allowed to say certain words.
Yeah.
Which is so ridiculous.
Yeah. So, what do I want to get to? Patriot fans are mad at Brady. You hear about this?
Why?
Because he said he's not rooting for the Patriots.
This is a rabbit hole that.
Wait,
so
do we have the audio of it? We have.
I can find it if you want.
Yeah. Tom Brady.
Tom Brady Patriots. Let me see if I can find it. It's just pictures of Tom Brady taking pictures with Robert Kraft.
Yeah, he said, "I don't have a dog in the fight in this one. May the best team win."
Which is kind of stupid, but
I don't. I'm totally fine with this. First of all,
he should have just said nothing.
Well, he was asked about it.
I know.
Here's what I'll say though. Broadcasters are constantly, because he's a broadcaster now, are constantly being scrutinized for being biased for one team or the other team.
Hello, Joe Buck.
Yeah. And people would be saying the same thing about Brady being a former Patriot. Now people are mad at him for trying to be objective as a broadcaster. And it's like, if he wanted to go the route of I'm rooting for the Patriots, okay, fine. But I think it's a little better for him as a broadcaster to say, look, I don't have a dog in this fight. I think that's totally fair. And a lot of people are bringing up baseball where like Jeter and, David Ortiz, all those guys who like they're so biased, like Jeter's biased in favor of the Yankees.
No, he's not.
David Ortiz. Well, no, like they would flat out say it though, is the point. Like Jeter would say he's rooting for the Yankees. David Ortiz would say he's rooting for the Red Sox. But those guys aren't good broadcasters. Derek Jeter, David Ortiz, these guys are not good broadcasters.
Did Brady reveal who he was who he was actually picking, or was that just a question he was asked?
It's a question he was asked. So I don't get what the big deal is.
I'm looking to see if he actually did, but I don't see anything. He must, if people are criticizing him, then it means he must have picked the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl. That's the only thing I can.
Well, picking a team is not rooting for them. That's different.
No,
Jets.
No, I get that, but I'm saying people are going to mistake it for him like rooting against the Patriots. Like if he picks the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl. It's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a close game. I think people need to just take a chill pill. I'd be more worried about, is now Brady going to be kept out as a first ballot Hall of Famer because Kraft and Belichick didn't get in?
That's another question, which if Brady's kept out as a first ballot Hall of Famer,
I would shut down the Hall of Fame if that happened.
At that point, if Brady's not a Hall of Famer, you can just shut down the Hall of Fame. I'm fine with Eli not being a Hall of Famer, but Brady not being a Hall of Famer. Like, look, there's no argument for Eli being a Hall of Famer outside of the 2 Super Bowls. Like, he was never an MVP candidate. He was never
a top 5 quarterback.
No, he was never he was probably never even a top 10 quarterback. And I'm fine with Eli not being a Hall of Famer, but Brady, I mean, that's ridiculous.
What is that? 7 Super Bowl rings? I mean, like, that's a record. Like, how are you not in the Hall? And this whole thing, the arguments that they're having, by the way, with Belichick about Deflategate and Spygate, and that's why they're going to put him in the second year.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to do. They just didn't want to make him a first ballot Hall of Famer. All right, Hall of Fame, we know you're gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Stop. Like, and what about Kraft? What do you think about Kraft?
I don't care as much because he's an owner.
Yeah,
I agree. He's being in the Hall of Fame, I really just don't care about. I really only want players and coaches being in. I don't care about owners.
I agree. I mean, has he done a lot for that team to help them win? Yeah, the money. That's it.
But
the Belichick and Brady.
But overall, I mean, I do think if owners are going to be in the Hall of Fame, Robert Kraft certainly fits that description.
Now, if we're going to go character flaw, which is what we're doing with Belichick and probably Kraft, does that mean Aaron Rodgers is not going to get in?
Well, I don't know if Kraft didn't get in because of character flaws or Belichick did, but I mean, that could be. I mean, absolutely. I think that could happen. I think we could end up with a situation where because Aaron Rodgers is perceived as like an anti-vaxxer or whatever, that therefore he won't get into the Hall of Fame. That could happen for sure.
Usually this story, speaking of Eli, going around that apparently he was asked about a 10% stake in the Giants.
Really?
Yeah, that story's going around now. The quote says apparently he was looking at it, but he decided to pass on it. It's probably a good call right now, considering their ownership is a little bit up in flames.
Well, yeah, you think?
I don't think you and I have actually spoken about that topic since it's come out.
Well, how the Giants are a dumpster fire of an organization.
I think Tish should be forced to sell. That's just me.
I don't.
440 mentions.
But I don't. Here's the thing, though. There's no evidence so far that Steve Tisch did anything wrong.
Emails.
No, but the emails. Do you know what the emails say? The emails are him like talking.
Did you see
about
the creepy one that got released?
Which creepy one? About
where's my gift? And
Steve Tisch, but like the point is that there's no evidence that Steve Tisch was either on the island or.
I'm not saying the island. I'm not saying the island.
No,
but
there's also no evidence that these exchanges were about underage girls. They're referred to as women. I mean, maybe, look, I don't know. Maybe that's not true. But I'm just saying, based on everything that's happened, I don't think Tisch should be, based on everything we know, I don't think that Tisch should be forced to sell. Other than, all he did was associate with the wrong guy. If it's true that Epstein was basically his wingman, yeah, that's a little weird. I don't dispute that. That's weird. But if it turns out that that's all it was, and it was just with a bunch of adult women that he was setting him up with, probably prostitutes, I mean, I don't know. Is that really that big of a deal?
I mean, it's illegal in New York, but that's the only thing.
Okay, but like how many owners have been involved in prostitutes? Robert Kraft wasn't forced to sell. So, I mean, the way I see it is that if all he did was buy him a bunch of adult-age prostitutes or whatever, I really don't think that's a big deal.
First of all, Robert Kraft is tight with Roger Goodell, so that was never going to.
No, but the point is, if Kraft didn't have to sell, like, I don't really care about if owners are involved in prostitutes. I don't think they should have to sell for that. That's silly.
I just think his name being mentioned 440 times is insane.
But like his name being mentioned certain numbers of times, like the problem with that is that there's no context to that. Like, I don't care if somebody's mentioned X number of times. That doesn't prove anything.
I'll agree with you because some names were like MLB players were mentioned once because of a passing conversation, and people are misconstruing that with being involved with Epstein. So I'll give you that one. Like those situations are bad. Like Geno Smith's name was mentioned in the Epstein reports.
Exactly. So like the whole thing is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Do you know why his name was mentioned though? It's hilarious.
No, I don't remember.
So apparently, it was one of the Epstein associates saying that somebody wanted a Geno Smith jersey, and that's why his name got mentioned. So then everybody, oh, Geno
Oh
Smith,
yeah.
Geno Smith in the Epstein reports. I'm like, what? Like, you're seeing all these names come out now. Like, I got into an argument with some people saying like the Epstein files story is not a sports story,
No, it absolutely is a sports story.
and I said, there's NFL owners involved in this thing. What
Of
do you
course
mean
it
it's
is.
not a sports
Of
story?
course, it's a sports story. It's got to be.
Like, who else was in it? Stephen Ross was involved with it. The Dolphins owner, Josh Harris, who's now the owner of the Commanders, was involved. Not his doing, his fault, but I think the Panthers owner was involved in it. The Vikings owner was involved with it. Like, there was a lot of names
Yeah,
brought up in the
a
report. Is there anything else?
No, not really. It
Oh,
was
did
just two of us today. There's not much.
Yeah, did you see Stephen A. and Skip Bayless did a show together on?
Yeah, I did. I can't talk about it though because I didn't watch it yet.
It basically, well, I'll let you watch it, but a lot of it was just them talking about the old days together at First Take.
Yeah,
And how the two of them basically said, "Oh, people are claiming we destroyed the sports media or whatever because of our hot take culture."
which yeah, I think is such an over exaggerated point. I mean, that just means they were really good at their jobs. For people to say that they ruined it.
I would say they reflected sports culture a certain way. I wouldn't say they destroyed it.
Yeah.
Hot
Anyway,
take culture,
yeah. But anyway, that's it. I gotta go.
Oh, you got to eat, right?
I gotta go eat something before my shift.
Oh no, you didn't bring food with you?
I did, but not enough.
Oh.
Yeah, not enough.
This was always the dilemma with me when I worked this shift. I'm like, do I get food or do I bring it?
All right.
Like,
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. That's our show this week. We'll be back next week. We'll have more people, more comics on. Back to probably our usual cast.
Hopefully.
See you guys then.
Okay. See you then.